So I'm going to show you some sample artworks from the ink drawing project, and I'm going to show you both ones done by students as well as drawings not done by students. We're going to start with the ones that are done by other artists, and then we're going to end with the ones that are done by students. This first set of drawings are related to the part of the project where you have to draw something from nature, from direct observation, and draw what you see close up in detail. And this is one work, and this one is more of a contour line drawing. Okay, and I really want to bring attention to the thickness of the line in the area of shadow. Okay, excellent use of line weight that helps to suggest a light source. Here's another drawing, this one of leaves, and I really like these contour lines that spray out right here and right here as well. I like how they get lighter in some areas. It also suggests a light source, okay, because it suggests a shadow in this area. Also interesting use of movement here, really beautiful. It's like they're dancing. Okay, so here's another study of a leaf. What I like about this one is how it resembles a heart. Okay, or some type of human organ. So here's a drawing of a tree, and this one has more development of shadows and lights and shadows. Okay, so it's up to you. You can do more of a contour line drawing, or you could do a drawing that develops tone. Here's another drawing of a tree. I kind of want to zoom in on this part. This looks really beautiful. This development of texture, as well as this development of tone in these areas. Really close attention to surface quality. Okay, so here's a flower, and this is done in a more traditional contour line drawing approach. Okay, where they're just focusing on the edges, and they're putting thicker lines in areas of shadow and thinner lines in areas of light. Another contour line drawing. Another contour line drawing. This one has really interesting use of negative space. It's really awesome. Okay, here's a contour line drawing of a pine cone. Here's a drawing of some type of plant. I wish I knew what type of plant it was. But what's beautiful about this one is how the artist used darker lines on the front, with the plants in the front, and then lighter lines with the plants in the back. So that's something you can experiment with if you like. Okay, if you add a little bit of water to the ink, you can make it lighter in this way and create a sense of depth. Okay, here's some drawing of some flowers, and this one's really interesting in its development of tone. This one's really beautiful. I really love the movement that's created in this drawing from all these edges. And I like how it goes from more of a tonal drawing to more of a contour line drawing near the bottom. Okay, so here's a drawing of a flower, but this one's done in the stippling technique. So this is an approach you could take if you like. Here's another stippling drawing, this one of a rose. Here's some type of plant, and this one's done using cross hatching. I really like the subtlety that the artist is bringing in to these segments. Subtle changes in value that the artist is finding and describing in ink. Here's a drawing of a leaf. Okay, a pretty symmetrical composition, but then there is this little twist at the end, which makes it interesting, I believe. Here's a drawing of a tree. Really beautiful depiction of the texture here, and also some depiction of the lights and shadows as well. It's possible that these lights and shadows might have been done with a wash, as opposed to the other ones which are done with hatching or cross hatching. Okay, here's a drawing of some flowers. Really beautiful composition, lots of movement, a lot of variety in shapes, and this one utilizes stippling. Okay, you see these little dots. That's how it develops value. So when you're creating tone, there's a variety of approaches that you could take with a variety of marks. And in this class, we've already discussed two, one being hatching and the other being cross hatching. But another way is to create hatches that are grouped in this type of fashion. You could also create these types of hatches that are more wavy. Okay, they're curved. And you could create these types of marks, which are these dashed marks. Okay, these little squiggles, and so on. And some of these are basically variations of hatching and cross hatching, but some of these are new, such as these scribbles. Okay, and here's a bunch of other ways that tone can be created. So feel free to experiment with these. Okay, and here's one more drawing, and this one was done in Sumi brush. Okay, and it was done of some type of plant in a pot. If you do it in Sumi brush, you're going to want to do it at a larger scale, at 12 inches by 12 inches. Okay, so now let's look at some artists that took a more abstract approach to representing nature, or abstract approach to drawing that was inspired by nature. Okay, so here's one that was done in Sumi brush, and really let's look at the expressive effects of these marks. Okay, really expressionistic, and I think it was done of shadows. At least that's what I see. Maybe shadows from a plant of some sort. Here's another one done in Sumi brush. Some really beautiful washes here. And I think these are shadows as well. And perhaps maybe here's the plant that's creating the shadow, or part of the plant that's creating the shadow. Okay, this one's really beautiful, and I really like how there's these white spaces that are empty. Some nice places for the eye to rest. And this artist likely, took a form and then used it as a basis to create this drawing. So it's not likely that they were drawing something and then stylized it. I believe they, seen a shape and then used that as the basis to create this drawing. An image that really only exists in the drawing. Okay, here's some flowers. Okay, that have been stylized a bit, made curvier. Here's some type of plant matter. It's been repeated. Here's some stylized leaves. Okay, so, and I want you to see the difference between these. So this one's, a little bit closer to what the plant may look like. Okay, and this one's, taking a natural form and using it as inspiration for design. Okay, but really doesn't quite look like a plant as you would see it to the eye. Okay, there's influence in the shapes, but no one's gonna mistake this for a plant. Okay, no one's gonna identify this as a plant. So really, it's up to you. You could do something more like this, or something more abstract like this. Okay, but in either case, there needs to be natural forms present, okay, which there is in this. You got some tree-like forms, some waves. Here's another very abstract piece that's still based on natural forms. So we got some leaves here. Looks like some stems. Wow, this one's really interesting. So I really like the sense of space that's created. As it goes back, it gets really small. Okay, so this artist, took a certain type of form and then repeated it many times. Okay, this is a much more abstract one, but that's still based on organic forms. So is this one? Okay, so something like this, the artist is taking a shape and then repeating it many times across the composition, but with some variation. So this one looks like hair. It's been repeated and subtly adjusted across the composition. Okay, this looks like suds in the ocean. Okay, now let's look at some student work. Okay, so here's the one that was done for direct observation. Another one done from direct observation. Okay, now here's one done from direct observation using stippling. And then here's one that was done more abstractly. So the student used this natural form and then use that to inspire their drawing. Okay, you can see it coming through right here. Yeah, as well as right here. But the student wasn't concerned with drawing what they seen optically, but using what they seen as inspiration for an abstract drawing. Okay, here's one done from observation using micron pen. Here's one done from observation of some type of leaves. Here's a more abstract one. Okay, so the artist stylized the leaves, made them a little bit more curvy, and then placed marks inside of them. Okay, that basically outline the perimeter continuously until it made it to the center. Okay, here's an abstract one that a student did. This one's based on hair. Here's one done for observation, okay, of a mushroom and a snail. Okay, this one's likely done from a photo because I don't think the snail was going to model like that for long. This is an abstract one a student did. A really beautiful variety of patterns here. Okay, here's one done from observation. Here's the one done from observation, and then the abstract one next to it. These are both done from observation. Another one done from observation. Really like the variety of line types here. The use of stippling right over here. This one's an abstract one that a student did. This is one done from observation. Another one done from observation with a close attention to value and tone. Okay, these are two that are done from observation, excellent attention to the surface of the natural object. Okay, and also an attention to light logic here. Okay, is a flower that's done from observation. A tree. This is a more abstract one. Okay, it looks like they got a form and repeated it. This one's done from observation. This is an abstract one. So with the abstract drawing, you have a huge range of possibilities, from something that somewhat looks like the form you're drawing to something that's completely abstract like this, or this. Okay, this one has more of a resemblance to the original object, but then they added these patterns to each of the leaves. Okay, so just take a look for yourself at these drawings for inspiration. If you have any questions, please ask me.